The Everleigh Railway Workshops, Sydney. History and Amnesia.
I'm very, very concerned about this construction of history as somehow divided from the present. There is a continuity, there always will be. It suits certain interests to construct the past as a foreign country, which can then be commodified for exploitation, be it cultural tourism of some sort or redevelopment of sites to make them appear unique. However, I dispute this discontinuity view of the past. We are constantly remaking our history to suit our current needs. History is in effect a political enterprise in that sense. There is no such thing as a pure history. All we have is evidence and traces from the past, which we then interpret. So, in effect, history provides us with context for our present and the possibilities for the future. And it's very important for us to understand that history, that context, in order to understand what is possible for us and why we are where we are and how we are. History contributes to our social health and our mental health and our emotional health, because if we don't know our roots, we become alienated. The sense of a familiar landscape gives stability and prevents urban alienation. In other words, it can contribute to community renewal when people are connected to the history of a place and what makes it unique.
Raymond Jordan, yeah. I was a car and wagon builder, yeah. I started in 1948, yeah.
Because of the dominant mythology around pastoral history and the dominance of the sheep's back image, we have discounted the importance of our industrial heritage. So it didn't figure prominently in the Australian imagination, and industry was synonymous with ugliness. It's only really in the last 2 decades, as the number of our industrial sites have been demolished, that people have begun to value them and their importance.
We used to use a lot of lead-based paint. See, in those days you didn't have masks and all that. Asbestos, well, we used to cut the asbestos by hand around the little dumpy stoves and that in the brake fans and that at the back wall. One of my mates died from expososis. Yeah, he died, yeah. Asbestos and that were mainly with the boilermakers and that. They were exposed to that because they were doing underframes and all that. I was very lucky in my apprenticeship. I had very good tradesmen and they taught you how to use the tools and all that. Yeah. We started off at 17 and sixpence a week, and then I went to £1 Yeah, that was in our first year, and in your final year, 4 to 5 years, you got £4 something, and that's very hard. If you got married or that was pretty hard, and it's a pity they done away with it because They had very good tradesmen, especially when you're dealing with timber and all that. They had very good tradesmen down there. And the outside industry used to take the apprentices because they don't have to pay for their education and they're fully qualified and all that when they come out of their time, and they'd grab them.
What we have is amnesia at a public level, but certainly not on a private level. People do value the sites where generations of their families gained employment, or areas of working class housing that people lived in for generations. It's just that it doesn't make it to the level of public history. At sites like Everleigh, we have absolutely no representation of one of the most important aspects of working life at these sites, which was the collective experience of work and collective efforts to improve conditions of work and life. The same problem appears at sites of railway heritage all around the world. So we have bits and pieces about the workers' lives, where they talk about their work with a machine, but the actual aspects of their social life which make for humanity and which contribute to the intangible cultural heritage of that site has been excluded. We have a few machines that are like gravestones that have been left there. We have nothing to contextualise the site. It's just basically bricks, mortar and metal. And this is tragic, particularly for those that once worked there that find it very disillusioning, alienating, as well as their families. A lot of the times people that worked there died in industrial accidents. There's been no recognition of the blood, sweat and tears, the toil, the labour, the lives.
This is the sad part of these. It's all political now, as far as, closing down Everleigh and taking away all that,
You've been listening to Station 1 of Ghost Train, Memories of the Everleigh Railway Workshops in Sydney, now repurposed as an arts and technology precinct. You heard the voices of Lucy Taxa and Ray Jordan.